Look, insurance sucks. I'll just make it suck less.
All right, what's going on, everyone? It's Brad Hannon here. I wanted to come to you today with just a little update on where I've been, what I've been up to. You might have seen that there's not a ton of sales training videos being posted that are not in the form of like a short form content or a reel or something like that. If you guys are following me on Instagram, Facebook, or anywhere else, you're seeing that there's still content being posted and we're repurposing a lot of it. And that's because, I've been in a big transition phase. The last 11 and a half months, we're going into our 1 year anniversary, really this month, the month of August, for what I started a year ago, Signature Medicare Solutions, right? That is a Medicare call center here in Sarasota, Florida, that we have currently about 25 agents selling all over the phones. 23 of them are in office. We've got a couple of remote agents. But man, I'm here to tell you, it has been an absolute whirlwind. The overall message that I want to get across is never turn away from any opportunity, right? Never don't give it a listen. Never just immediately block it out until you've had that conversation, because you asked me 3 years ago if this would have been what I was doing today, or kind of my main focus as of right now. There's not a chance in hell I'd have told you yes, right? At that time, 3 years ago, I probably wasn't selling Medicare. At that time, 3 years ago, I probably wasn't interested in Medicare. And at that time, 3 years ago, I sure as hell didn't want to run a call center, right? But man, am I having fun. Man, is this everything that I'd ever imagined it being once I actually heard out the opportunity, right? And so if you could take anything away from this video, I'm a big believer in providing some sort of value rather than just updating you on my life, right? Like you really care. For the 3 people that may watch this video, yes, this is the update for where I've been, what I've been up to. But for those of you that might have tuned in, hoping to get a little piece of value, let me just share, when I first looked into starting the Medicare call center, I was definitely not, ready to jump in head first, right? It was more of like, hey, you know what? You're doing that. We're doing this. Maybe you should consider doing this as well. We've got a lot of the resources. We've got a lot of the know-how to help you get started. And, we think you'd be great at it. Plus, we're like best friends. It'd be great to work together. And that was the story of how this started. For about 2 years, myself and my business partners were running parallel, doing different things, right? I had a 1099 agency, all independent agents, selling mainly under 65. They were running a Medicare supplement call center and actually transitioned over to Medicare, more Medicare Advantage. And so there was just not really a whole lot of opportunity to work together, right? We always talked, we bounced opportunities, ideas back and forth, and maybe you saw some of the videos that I did when we first started on kind of the inception and how this whole thing happened. So I don't want to bore you with the details, but the important piece, right, the valuable piece where you can actually gain some piece of, value from would be that, in the beginning, I was probably against the idea of a W-2 agent, in a call center. It just wasn't where I was. It's not the cloth that I was cut from, so to speak. So, it just didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But the more I heard out the opportunity, the more I understood the vision, and the more I actually, opened my mind to getting into a different vertical or getting into a different space than I was already in, here I am. And again, I'm having a blast doing it, and it's a lot of work. It's exciting. I mean, it's a high energy, fast paced type business. But the real benefit that I'm getting is, as an insurance agent, obviously, you're not really running a business. Some of you are probably running a great business and paying attention to, profit and loss and scaling the right way and, putting systems and processes in place. But as a solo singular agent, I can tell you I wasn't doing that. Maybe you are, but I can tell you most are not. They're going out, they're buying, $1,000 in leads, hoping they make $3,000, and they'll do it again, but they don't know what their CPA is. They don't know where they're converting at. They don't have processes and flows in place. They're probably not fully taking advantage of automation or technology. And so you're not really running a business. You're a salesperson. Nothing wrong with that, right? Step up from that. You go from agent to, let's say, agency owner or agency builder, where you're recruiting now, and now you're training. But again, 1099 agents, they don't come with real overhead. You're trying to pass off some knowledge to get them to where they need to be to go buy their own leads, and you're making an override. And again, usually not running a business. You may be, but I was not. I was making a ton of money, no doubt about that. And many agency owners or agency builders out there are making a ton of money. But man, I just wanted to do something different where it was I wanted to focus on running a real business, okay? I know that sounds crazy, but my whole life, I grew up, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, a business owner. And every step of the way, I felt like I was getting there, but I didn't feel like I was all the way there. I didn't feel like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to be doing. I envision myself being able to, look at a spreadsheet, look at a P&L, look at, a breakdown essentially on a spreadsheet of a business and be like, well, we need to cut costs here. We need to raise. I'd watch Shark Tank. You watch these, you just know a real businessman when you see them. I didn't have a formal college education in business. So the next step of the way for me was to start this business. Man, it's been a blast. Like I said, I've said that several times, but we're at 25 producing agents now. We're doing almost 1,000 policies a month. Agents are making a great income. Agents are learning and growing. We're experiencing a lot lower turnover than we see in the feast or famine 1099 world. And I'm not here to tell you one is better than the other. I still have my other agency. In fact, you may start to see a whole lot more happening over there. I still plan on continuing to grow that agency while I continue to grow this agency, but this is really taking a front seat in the focus. So, again, I hope you can take some value from this. I hope that you can understand that the content will be a little bit fewer and far between right now. You may have also seen I'm doing a podcast called Sarasota SpeaX. So between, the Medicare call center, getting my other agency back to spooled up where it was, recruiting and growing that, as well as the Sarasota SpeaX podcast, my bandwidth is pretty well eaten up. Getting ready for AEP, getting ready for OEP while still spending some time with the family and all of that good stuff. Content just doesn't, it does make sense. Don't misunderstand me. Content always makes sense, but being able to sit down and film a 15-minute video on sales training or things like that it's harder to find that time, right? So I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that it's harder to find time or justify that time when I'm responsible for 25 people that are full-time W-2 employees that I've got to continue to try to create the best and greatest opportunity for them. I owe it to them. And so there's just been a shift, I guess is the best way that I could put it. But I still want to bring content. I still want to bring value. Anything that I can do to help, please reach out. But also, if you don't mind, drop it in a comment what you like to see out of the channel. We still want to do a couple of videos a month in this longer format, but this is just to serve as a little update. The Sarasota SpeaX podcast I'm doing because I really want to focus on my local market. We've been selling in 50 states for a while. Now I want to focus on my own backyard, Sarasota, Florida, a city that I love and a state that I love even more. So that's been the focus. That's where I'll be. If you need me, you know where to find me. We'll still put out some content, but specifically let me know what you'd like to see and we'll drop something, once a month, once every couple of weeks, the best that we possibly can. But in the meantime, go check out the Sarasota SpeaX podcast as well.
I'm a health insurance hustler. Bradley Hannon's the name. I'm here to teach these agents how to play the game. I'm a health insurance hustler. One thing you should know about me. I'm a health insurance hustler. BradHannon.com.